What's up? What's up? It is podcast night. I'm excited. Ready to go. I got my coffee tonight. Everybody else ready for the podcast? Rough right off. Just waiting for everybody to come in. Maybe we'll try and share it out here. What up, Truth Hurts? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. RC Crawlers, welcome in. I'm gonna do a podcast tonight. Special guest, Spider Monkey Customs. If you guys don't know, you can go over to the YT page and see all the previous episodes. There's 21 of them over there now. So 21 different episodes you can go through. Pick your favorite bait maker or watch them all. It's completely up to you. PK. How we doing? Oh, it's this guy. Yeah. Every Tuesday, 7 Eastern, it's this guy and the podcast. One of my favorite things to do every week. Gonna have Spider Monkey on. If you guys don't know Spider Monkey, stick around. You get to find out a lot about him. We'll get to see some of his work. And of course, we always do giveaways. Brasher, Seacline. What's up, Holly? Thank you. Jose. Mr. Dead on Bait, Seacline. Appreciate it, Walleye Guy. Seacline. Appreciate everybody coming in. Might be my kind of show now we're talking. Well, stick around, buddy. It just might be. And you can always check it out over on the YT page. That's the Pondcast 2025. We got 21 episodes over there. So, yeah, definitely stick around, buddy. What up, Strouds? Appreciate the follow. Packbeard Baits. You'll get a lot of followers in here if you stick around a little bit. Peking says, howdy, teammate. Thank you. Appreciate the heart me's, guys. There you go. Let's go here. We'll follow you back. Packbeard Baits. Everybody send him a follow. Show him some love. I'll have to check out your page a little better later on, buddy. Wheeling and reeling. What's up? Appreciate all the heart me's. Appreciate everybody stopping through. Like I said, tonight is Spider Monkey. Make sure you stick around. If you don't know who he is, great custom bait maker. And he does a lot more trading with other bait makers than he does just outright auctions and things. but a great painter, no less, and a great guy. So if you don't know very much about him, make sure you stick around. We're going to get to know him a lot better. What's up, Jose? There he is, the man of the hour. Or 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. We'll send you an invite and we'll get you in here if you would like. If you want to wait, that's fine too. But Pretty Lure. This whole thing is sponsored by Pretty Lure. They do a giveaway every night. Let's invite him up in here. Like I said, Spider Monkey, if you're not ready, by all means, you can wait. The podcast is always sponsored by Pretty Lure. Pretty Lure does a $25 gift code to their website. Go visit Pretty Lure right here for all your bait making needs. They have absolutely everything from blanks to paints to hooks to your split rings, your skirting for jigs, your Chanels, everything like that. What's up, Spider Monkey?
What's happening? What's happening?
Just hanging out. We got about 9 minutes before we start drilling you with the questions.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
I spoke to Spider Monkey, as I do everybody, prior to the podcast, and we got some interesting stuff to talk about here. So,
Yep.
Stick around.
It's gonna be fun. I think everybody's gonna enjoy it and get to know a little bit about me, and because I'm kind of a quiet, shy guy, you know.
Well, I think the best part about the quiet, shy guy, Jenny says that's a great beard. That's a good beard, man.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's been a couple years in the making.
It's about to that length. You got to get somebody else to trim it for you, huh?
I know. I'm hoping it gets a little bit longer so I can start braiding it and stuff.
There you go. The old cowboy hat. What up, Swamp Rooster?
6 shooters. Swamp.
Appreciate it.
Simmons
is in here.
Uh-oh. Uncle Corey had the 6 shooters going on.
There we go.
Jose.
Yelling out his real name. Nobody knows who you're talking about. Appreciate the tiny tinies. From Critter.
Thank you for the gifts, everybody. Thank you. You don't have to do that, but I got some gifts for y'all later.
There you go. What up, Pig Jigs? Glad to see you in here, man. Lauren's in here.
Lauren!
Lots of new people stopping through. Make sure you guys stick around. We're going to do a full interview with a great bait maker, Spider Monkey here. And we're also going to do some giveaways. And then we give the chat a chance to ask him some questions if they would like. With the beard, it makes it even better. That is great. Looking like an Ewok.
What's up, Bear?
What up, Bear? Woods. Everybody sneaking in here so fast. C. Klein
in the house. Hey, man, I got my package. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Love it.
C. Klein does great work.
Can't wait to fish it.
Great work. He does some innovative lures, some new stuff, his own style. If you guys haven't checked out Dead on Baits, which is actually C. Klein Fishing right here. Yep. Dead on Baits did that for Spider Monkey. If you have not checked out Dead on Baits or C. Klein himself, go check out Dead on Baits. They do have a website, and then also check out C. Klein right here on TikTok, and he can make just about anything.
Yeah, Jose, he nailed that mirror. I love it.
Is that glass? It's glass. It's an actual mirror.
Yeah. It's real mirror.
We all tend to use them in the auctions, but C. Klein is Dead on Baits is capitalizing on it, and he's actually personalizing the mirrors. He also does personalized stands, so you can get your bait name on it. You can get your CA on it. Just about anything you want over there. So. Pack Beer Baits says that's wicked. I need one, C. Klein. Shoot him a follow, shoot him a message. He'll get it done for you. Guaranteed.
While you're at it, get you one of them rad stands to go with the mirror.
Yes, sir. And what's unique about those stands that he's making, if you're hard baits or a jig maker, they also come with the alligator clamps. So it's a post that the alligator clamp will set on to hold up your jigs or whatever it might be. So they're versatile. They're versatile. I have yet to get myself one. That's going to happen very soon. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're missing out, man. I mean, they're a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I think he took two of them and he glued them together. And I was like, look, it's a bait condo.
Yep. The old double wide.
The old double wide.
C. Klein got the double wide action going on.
There you go, Sims.
Am I lagging out?
No. It's looking right.
Coming through here all right?
Yeah. Yeah, everything's looking good.
Cool.
It's all good in the trailer hood.
Yeah, buddy. What happens in the trailer hood stays in the trailer hood.
All right. Got my bass fishing mug here. It's got to be like, there you go. Now you can see it. I've had that thing forever.
What up, walleye guy?
We are just a few minutes away, and we will get this thing started. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. We'll go over a few things, and I don't know. I'm thinking we're gonna do the giveaways just a little different tonight. Maybe we'll do the Wheel of Suspense.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do it a different way. We'll see.
Hey, it's your call. I'm down for whatever.
I appreciate seeing everybody in here. Thank you so much for stopping in. Make sure you hang out, get to know a little bit more about Spider Monkey. And yeah, man, we're going to go over quite a bit of stuff here. So 6:59, that's basically 7 o'clock. Let me do some introductions. I'm Corey with Uncle Corey's Custom Lures, and this is the Pondcast. You can also find the Pondcast over on the YT page at the Pondcast, all one word, 2025. We have 21 previous episodes over there right now. This is fixing to be episode 22, and we'll get that one up there as soon as we can. As always, the Pondcast is sponsored by Pretty Lures. Pretty Lures has been a sponsor of the Pondcast since before the first episode. I spoke with them, told them my idea, and they wanted on board. They wanted on board right away, and it's been very nice having them on board, and it is helping them out as well. Make sure you get over to Pretty Lure. You can get all your blanks, all your skirts, all your Chanels, all your hooks, your terminal tackle, your paints, your airbrushes. I could go on and on and on. They have a lot of stuff over there. Great customer service. And I tell you, with every order over $100, then you get free shipping. Plus, they always throw in a free gift. If you're ordering nothing but terminal tackle, they're going to throw in some free terminal tackle. If you're ordering paints, they just go by with what you're ordering, and it's always good. Personal handwritten letters and notes. Just great customer service. If you haven't tried them yet, check them out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
And I recently,
what's that?
All the stuff that David and Rosalie does for the Fish Talk community.
Yep. Well, they're bait makers themselves. They know what it takes. You know, when we order, I just did it to myself, and I try not to do it. I ordered hooks. I only had 10 hooks left, and they got them to me within the week, you know. So it's always a big help. And then recently I teamed up with Dead on Baits and C. Klein. You can find some of my lures over there on his website. They are available for you, as well as the link to the podcast is over there on his website. So make sure and get over there and check out Dead on Baits as well. All right, I'm ready to get to it. Our guest tonight, Spider Monkey Customs. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm hyped. I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it.
I hear you. I'm ready to go too. Don't forget, we will be doing giveaways. Giveaways will happen at the end of the podcast. We will also open up the chat to ask him questions. Make sure you wait to the end for your questions. We will miss them most likely. If you don't wait till the end, we'll open up the chat and you can ask him all the questions you want. So what state are we from?
Indianapolis, Indiana, baby. Home of the greatest spectacle in racing.
It is. It is. I grew up in Indiana, very northern Indiana, but you know, still the same. I'm an Indiana boy. So yep. I love the fishing over in Indiana. I love the fishing over there. So lots of good spots, lots of good fish.
Especially up where you're from, up northern Indiana, man. They got good fishing up there.
Yeah, the county I was in was Kosciuszko County, and there's 100 lakes in that county alone. Just that county. Yeah, you can't throw a rock and not hit a lake somewhere. So, of course, I grew up fishing. It's something I've always loved, but living there, it made it a little better. So, how's the fishing in your area? Is there quite a few places to go down there?
So, in the city, it's a little more difficult because, you know, a lot of these ponds and stuff you see in these housing additions, private property, can't fish, no fishing signs posted. So you either have to sneak in and take your chances, right, or just, you know, find we got the White River, but in the city you don't want to fish in the White River. It's pretty bad. You definitely don't want to eat anything out of the White River. So yeah, you gotta drive a little bit to get to some good fishing.
Yeah. But you're willing to do that?
Oh yeah. I mean, south, north, either way, both directions you go, there's some good fishing.
Yeah. So I always start with this question. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Maybe, you know, some of your passions, what you like to do. Are you married? Things like that.
Yes. Well, so I always say on here and call her my wife. Technically, legally, we are not married. We are engaged, but we will be married eventually. We're in no hurry. But, you know, she's my wife no matter what. So, yeah.
Right.
Married, 3 bonus kids, 8 awesome grandkids. Nice. You know, hobbies, of course, love to fish. That's what we all in here. Everybody loves to fish.
Yeah.
You know, painting baits, and I also play bass with a couple buddies of mine in a band, and we write and record some of our own music. And
Yes.
I've been playing guitar since I was 14. About the same time, I started racing karts as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, between racing, trying to play guitar, and fitting fishing in there, it was kind of hectic at times, but I got it done.
Yeah.
And you know, just it's never a dull moment.
Yeah. So we spoke a little bit about that. Now, first thing I want to touch on, and I know this is all about fishing, but I want to touch on the music first. So you can actually go check out a song that they just got done with, and I can never remember the name of the song, but
So if you go to YouTube, search V as in Victor, G as in George, H as in Harold, VGH, Fire Rider.
Fire Rider, that's it.
And we wrote it, you know,
Tiny.
played it, recorded it all ourselves, and we're just a three-piece, you know,
Yeah.
group of guys, and we're all buddies. The guitar player and singer I went to high school with. I've known him for years. The drummer is another buddy of mine I've known for 20 years. So it's just something we like to hang out and do. And you know, I think it's pretty cool. I think we did a good job on our first one.
Oh, I know you did. I've listened to it not once. I've listened to it multiple times. And when you first sent it to me, you're like, you know, kind of tell me what you think, you know. And I sent you a message back and said, I hear this as inspirations in it. And you're like, man, that is spot
Nailed
on.
it.
That is
Nailed it.
definitely the inspiration. So
Yep. Yep.
if you guys like that rock music, right? Not super heavy metal, but that
It's
heavier.
metal.
What's that?
It's metal. It's just not like heavy screamo or nothing.
Like the death metal is, I guess,
Right,
what I want
right,
to say. It's not death metal. It's metal. It's. I think what I said to you is I hear Metallica and
Pantera.
Pantera and Alice in Chains and
Yeah.
you hear it in the influence in that song. So if you guys like any bands like that, go check it out.
And it's
you
funny
won't
when you
miss one.
messaged me that and told me that, you know, the one riff in there, it's the closing riff when we're fading out of it. That riff is actually, we were looking for another riff to kind of finish the meat and potatoes of the song.
Yeah.
And the drummer, our buddy Chris, his name's Chris as well. He's like, man, something like, you know, a Pantera Walk. So we start messing
Yes.
around with something, and that's where that riff came from.
Yeah.
It's a rip off of Walk.
100%. But you guys made it your own, and it sounds
Yep.
great. It sounds great.
Thank you. I'm pretty damn proud of it.
You should be. You all should be. And then we see what shirt you're wearing, Lucas Oil. So we spoke a little bit about the kart racing that you've done.
Yep.
So you've
Yep.
done that for a long time, and you did it all over. And you were super heavy into it.
Yeah.
About top tier as you can get with the kart racing circuit. So
Yeah.
where's some of the places you raced?
So when I first started out racing, you know, like I told you, my dad was a kart racer, and I can remember being 3 years old out at Indianapolis Raceway Park for my dad in a kart race. I can remember being there. It's funny what you can and can't remember when you're that young, but I remember that day.
Yeah.
But so when I become a teenager and dad decided, you know, he's going to get me into racing, we started out racing local at Whiteland, which is, you know, right in our backyard. Then moved on from there, and then I ended up running the WKA, which is World Karting Association Enduro Series.
Yeah.
So we ran Daytona, Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina, Road America, Mid Ohio, Road Atlanta, Grattan, Michigan, Blackhawk Farms, you know, a lot of these big, well-known tracks. And, you know, when you show up and, I'm a nobody. And coming to some of these places, you're just in awe, because like I remember the first time driving through the gates at Daytona, and it's like in my head, I'm just thinking about all the people that have raced on this track and have been at this facility and all the heritage and nostalgia this place has.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we're not talking your backyard go-kart. What's some of the speeds of these go-karts?
So in laydown enduros, our lead pack, we were clocked at 105.
That's moving, and you're this far off the ground.
Yes, your butt's literally. I mean, you hit a big enough bump, you can feel the pan scrape, and you can feel it in your butt.
Right.
And you're just hoping nothing tears through the pan.
There better not be a big rock on that speed. But
when I say our lead pack, we're drafting. We're in a draft. There's like 8 of us, nose to tail. You could have thrown a blanket and covered all of us. And that's when you really have to trust the guys you're running with, because one little mistake, you're all done.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, we've seen it in everybody's seen a NASCAR race. You see them all just one right after the other, and if one person makes a mistake, it's a lot of trouble for a lot of people. Yep. So I guess from our aspect of not being in that cart, you don't think of it as I'm really trusting that guy in front of me. I'm also trusting the guy behind me to know how to ride behind me.
Yep.
So very interesting, very cool. And you did that for how long?
So I started when I was 14. My last year in was in 2000, and I finished 4th in the Midwest and 10th in the nation.
Wow.
And then about 5 years ago, my dad got the wild idea, hey, let's start racing karts again. And at this time, I'm 50. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we went out and got a cart and got everything ready, and I started racing again at 50 years old. And, I told Dad after a couple seasons, I was like, man, I'm ready to sell everything. And he's like, why? And I'm like, it's not the point that I can't drive anymore. I can still drive.
Yeah.
But now in the back of my mind, I have a family, responsibilities, and job and everything. And I'm not willing to take the risks that I used to for a trophy. Now, I'm saying we raced for a trophy. We didn't race for money.
Right.
We were racing for trophies.
Right.
So I'm not going to risk going out there and, breaking my neck for a trophy.
Well, and it's not just that. It takes a lot of time away from your wife and family and all that stuff. Now, you built motors. I mean, you have to know how to work on these things.
Yes. So, and then, when we got back in versus when we were in before, just the cost side of it. Before I could buy the whole cart race ready to hit the track for $3,000 to $3,500, and that's top of the line stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Versus now, I had almost 10 grand to hit the track. And then now, when you show up to a race, it used to be, your entry fees covered your pit pass and everything for the weekend. No, now you have to pay your entry fees. You have to buy a pit pass. You have to pay for your pit spot. I mean, everything you do, they nickel and dime you. And it's just to the point where I'm like, I just can't keep shelling out money to do this.
Well, I tell you what, man, that's awesome to know that about you. It kind of gives us a different aspect of what you grew up doing. And let's face it, those things probably don't run on gasoline. So y'all have seen the gas prices lately. So let's think about racing fuel or alcohol. What did they run on? Is it both?
So we ran, high octane race fuel like Cam 2 or Turbo Blue, or Klotz even made their own racing fuel. And being a 2-cycle, you had to run, an oil mix into the fuel.
Right.
So, and you're even talking back in the 90s, a gallon of race gas was $5, and that was back in the 90s.
Yes, sir. Like Rooster says down there, I'm sorry, dark side. He says very expensive. I can only imagine, how much money is spent on a weekend just to go and run. Everything else is done. The cart's ready and everything's paid for so that you're into the race, but then you have to pay for the fuel for every single race or the length of race that you're running. So,
yep.
What up, Paul Tark? Rude, Corey. Now you are Swamp Rooster.
Yeah, you'll always be Swamp to me.
You can't get away from it. All right, guys. Now,
and
what
and before we go any farther, a lot of people may not know. I know that a few people, when we're in lives together, they'll say it in the chat. So my real name is Chris. So when we're in a group together and you see like Simmons, he'll always Chris.
Yeah,
that is my real name. It's not Spider Monkey.
It's not.
No.
What the heck?
My government is Chris.
Well, this interview's over. No.
Dang it.
So what everybody has come in here for is you are a bait maker. So is it just hard baits that you do? Do you do any tying, anything else?
Nope, just hard baits and lures. And it's funny because when I first started thinking about doing anything like this, I originally was going to do soft plastics.
Okay.
And there was a few times I would have a couple molds and an injector and some plastisol in a cart. And I talked to my wife about it and be like, I'd kind of like to do this stuff.
Yeah.
But then I was like, where would I do it at? Because my garage is not heated. So in the wintertime, it'd be pretty cold out there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, and then Simmons and Brasher, Simmons was the first one. And then Brasher both started, hey, we're going to start painting lures.
Yeah.
And they started doing it. And I'm like, it might not be a bad idea because, I got the whole upstairs to myself and I can buy a booth and exhaust it out the window up here. And that's where it all started.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing you in lives before you started painting.
Oh, yeah.
So today is actually a special day for Mr. Chris Spider Monkey over here. Today exactly marks 1 year.
1 year
since he started painting. So
I'm not much better than when I started.
No, that's not true. That is not true.
But
do you have your first bait?
I was just reaching for it.
Get it out. Let's see.
So I do have my very first one I ever painted.
Nice, solid color pattern. It's not bad. It's not bad.
No, for the very first one, I thought it was okay.
Yeah. So, and then later on, he's going to show you what he's doing now, unless he has one other than maybe for the giveaway. Well, people have seen it. You put out a post about it.
Yeah.
So his work, as everybody's has improved. You get better with the airbrush. You get better at doing patterns and blacking out the eye around that red eye like he did, things like that. So there you go. Nice job, man. Nice job. So you've been painting exactly 1 year today. And that's awesome. It does take some dedication, you know what I mean, to continue to paint. We all have those hurdles, you can't think of what to paint. You don't like the patterns you have. You don't have enough paint. Your airbrush isn't working right. You have to figure out the right cleaners, the right thinners, it can be overwhelming sometimes and a challenge. I hear guys all the time, they're like, man, I threw my airbrush the other day. I have never thrown my airbrush. I thought about it. thought about it. Because sometimes you get those clogs where when you're spraying, it's coming out at like a 30 or 45 degree angle, and you can't quite figure out why. Have you ever had some of those issues?
I have, but I try not to get frustrated because I look at all of it as a learning experience. I've only been doing this a year. I'm still learning. I mean, these are things that are going to appear that I didn't foresee or didn't expect or didn't know about could happen, which now I'm learning.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I try not to really get frustrated because, like I said, it's learning and it's teaching me, and that's the way I try to look at everything. Now, if it's something that I just did, then I might get a little like, well, what'd you do that for? But other little things like when I first started painting, and I would pour the paint in the cup, get ready to spray, and it kind of spit and sputter and wasn't really spraying good. And then I'm like, okay. And that's when I learned to start thinning my paints down, and they would start spraying out of the brush better. So with that being said, that's why I tell everybody I thin everything down, because I know the consistency now that I don't have to worry about clogs or dry tip or anything like that. So whether you say, oh, this paint doesn't need thin, I thin it anyways.
Yeah.
I have a consistency that I like painting at, and that's what I stick with.
And I would agree with you. My consistency is more of the candies, more of a watery consistency, and I like spraying just like that. It takes a little more time. You have to layer it on there. You have to wait for it to dry or dry it. If it's not a candy, you can of course use a hair dryer and dry it up. But Swamp Rooster says, just throw baits. It's cheaper.
Oh, no.
So
I haven't thrown one, Swamp. I haven't thrown one.
Here's another tidbit for you that you don't know about this guy is you used to run a podcast.
I did.
So
I had a podcast for a couple years called Checkers and Wreckers. It was on Facebook, and we did it Facebook Live. Me and a guy I used to know, we'll put it that way.
Yep.
And it was a total racing podcast. We covered everything from we'd go out to Ingalls, Indiana, where they ran quarter scale RC cars. We would cover those races. We would go to the Speedrome and cover a figure 8 race.
Yeah.
We go down to Whiteland and cover karting. We talked about NASCAR, Formula One, NHRA, IndyCar, World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil. We discussed it all.
Yeah.
Because I'm a racing freak.
It's funny that you mentioned some of the RC cars. Back when I was a teenager, we used to run RC cars, but they were on carpet. They were called pan models. And
that's the first thing I ever raced.
They set this far off the ground, and if you have a screw out of place, it gets snagged up because they run them on carpet. So it would get snagged up on the carpet and spin you around, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You could wrap some money up in those things too. Am
I going to the time trials this year for Indy? I'm not sure, Paul. I would like to say yes, but I've been kind of dealing with something and going to a chiropractor, so I don't know if it's going to allow me to do that this year.
Yeah. It's a lot of sitting.
A lot of walking. If you've never been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that's a lot of walking. That place is huge.
Yeah. I personally have never been, but I would like to go at some point and watch. I would love to watch the Indy 500 down there. So
I tell everybody, if you ever get a chance to go, do it. Because I'm telling you, most people, when they go to the Indy 500 for their first time, they weren't a race fan.
Yeah.
But they left there being a race fan.
Yeah. Well, it's a big community, right? It's a community just like what we have on here. We're all fishermen and bait makers, and we all have these same interests in common. And it's the same thing when you go to the racing community. Everybody has those same interests, and it's like you can't talk to a stranger. So I could only imagine someday I'll get down there.
Definitely. You ever get down here for it, hit me up. I'll go with you.
Definitely, 100%. You and Paul Tark. Paul Tark lives up in Indiana too. So
Paul goes, and he's an IndyCar fan.
Yeah. So, but so it was Sims and Brasher who got you into the painting side. So you never actually purchased the things to do the soft plastics.
Nope. So I had been in the shadows and watching. When I first stumbled onto the fish talk side of TikTok, the first person that I seen was his name's Austin. He's got a company called Game Day Lures, and he makes soft plastics.
Okay.
And I bought a few bags from him. Well, then I stumbled on to Motivated. Well, and I'd be in Motivated's lives, and Trevor cracked me up and thought it was great, and I would get on there and order stuff from him and get the freebies and all this, and that's how I met Simmons and Brasher, was in Motivated's live.
Yeah.
And then, digging into that, I kept seeing more people and more people. Well, that's when I stumbled on to the Friday Night Lives.
Yep.
And Tark, Seven, 3D, Fingerprint, Barrett, all the ones that are goated. I mean, all them dudes right there are goated, no doubt. So, I sat back and watched a lot of them and just kind of seen what they were doing and everything like that. It was like, I would like to try this. I know I'm not going to be as good as them, but I would still like to try this. So
there's definitely some natural talent out there, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen that person pick up an airbrush, and it's like they were made to do it. But the typical way it goes is it's challenging, and I think you, like me and like a lot of us, we enjoy that challenge. And no, you're not going to be the best right off the bat, but you get better and better and better. And it's nice to see your growth. Like you still have your original first bait. I do not. Somebody grabbed mine up right away, of course. And people are after those first lures. And it's exciting to sell your first lure. So you go ahead and do it. But to see where I'm at and where you've come from to where you're at now, it's really exciting to see the growth that people have.
And then I always get the boss's approval when I paint one. I'll go downstairs and show her, and as long as she says it's pretty, I know I did good.
My wife will never say it, but I'm sure she's sick of looking at baits, right? She's not into fishing or anything like that. She supports
Mine
me
either.
100% wholeheartedly. And if that bait was ugly as sin, she would be like, "Oh, that's pretty."
Oh no, she would tell me, "Yeah, I don't care for that one too much."
Sorry, buddy, that one's not it.
Yeah.
But I'm always showing her baits. Look at what I did. Look at this one. Look at that one.
Yep.
She looks up long enough. She's like, "Yeah, it's nice." So do you paint often with Sims and Brasher and all those guys?
I mean, I try to hop in some lives and paint every now and again, but for me, I like to paint when I'm not in a live. I'll sit here and I'll throw on some music or something like that.
Yes.
And just get kind of lost in my own little world.
Yes.
With no interruptions or nothing like that. But like I said, every now and again, I will paint on a live. Matter of fact, we were, I think one of the first times I met you all, we were in that, we did a challenge.
Okay. Yeah.
That was not long after I'd met you and Swamp and everybody.
Yep.
And so, like I said, I will get into the lives. I'm not against them. Just, if I had my preference, I'd rather just not be in a live and paint on my own, jamming out, and just get lost in my own little world.
I'm completely with you. A lot of times when I do the baits that I feel are some of my best. It's usually when I'm by myself. I turn on the iPad, I listen to some music, I stare at pictures, and I come up with something good. And it's funny that you bring up the Friday Night Lives. So for those of you who don't know, Friday Night Lives are back. Pretty Lure is hosting the Friday Night Lives every Friday at 7 Central. Is that right? Dang it. I need to write that down. 7 Central. So it's still Barrett Bates, which is Pretty Lure. So it's always on Pretty Lure page, which will have Barrett Bates, Paul Tart, Smith and Whiskey, Benster Fishing. So Benster's in there. He doesn't do too much painting anymore. And then they are opening the boxes to other people. So make sure you send Pretty Lure a message. If you are a painter yourself or a jig tire, I heard them talking about this last week. You don't have to be a painter. You can get in there and use the colors that are given and do what you do with the baits that you make. So make sure and get a hold of Pretty Lure. Send them a direct message, and you can be part of the Friday Night Lives. And we'll give you some colors and a task and see what you can do with it. So make sure you go check that out as well. He's back.
Check out the Friday Night Lives.
Check it out.
And that's something else that most people don't know about me. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Are you?
Yeah.
I will be honest, and I'll get a lot of hate about it. I've watched Star Wars. I've just never really gotten into it. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying good or bad.
It's not for everybody.
It just wasn't my thing. But it's definitely has its following, and that following is huge.
Yep.
That following is huge. So what's your favorite airbrush to use? Do you have a favorite airbrush, or do you just use whatever you bought?
I will. I'll have to say right now, Krios.
I knew it. I got to try one of those. You're not the only one.
No, and here's my thing. I have a couple Gallery Mobius, and I do have a Harder and Steinbeck.
Okay.
But for me, the way the Krios fits in my hand, because I have bigger hands, it's just more comfortable.
Yeah.
I just feel like I have more control on the brush. So I really like this.
So it looks like it has the bigger cup on it. Do you like the fact that it has the big cup?
That would be my only knock against it.
Okay.
Is I would rather it have, that cup right there.
Yes. Yes. So
that would be my only knock against the Krios.
Is that a cover on your cup, or is that a filter?
The cover.
A cover. Okay. I know some guys like to use the filters. They drop the filter in it, so when they pour the paint, it actually filters the paint.
Right.
I was having an issue with a paint. It was a big bottle of Golden, so it's the 4 fluid ounces, which takes you a while to go through, right? And I think it was from shaking it that it was pulling some of the scale off the sides, because there's only like this much left in it. And man, I could not use that stuff. So I went out and I got some cheesecloth, and I actually took the cap off and I put the cheesecloth on there and put the cap back on.
Yep.
I haven't had an issue since.
Yep.
So
works just the same.
Little tip for you, or anybody down in the chat, if you're having trouble with some maybe chunkiness in the paint that you've had for a while, it doesn't happen with all paints. As a matter of fact, it's the only one I'm having that issue with. Get you some cheesecloth or some of the filters that go right down in the airbrush itself. So,
or just grab a pair of your wife's pantyhose and cut a piece out.
Perfect. Yeah. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. So I went to Dollar General, because once you're a painter, everywhere is a good place to go.
Exactly.
They don't carry pantyhose. That's what I was after. They had cheesecloth, no pantyhose.
I don't think I've ever really noticed that.
Well, let's face it. I don't think many of the guys go into Dollar General looking for pantyhose,
Well,
but
but what I'm saying is, I'm showing my age here a little bit. I can remember being a kid and going to the store and they had like a whole display.
I'm telling you, exactly. I come home and I said that to my wife. I said, they don't carry pantyhose. I went to the front. I'm not used to looking for that type of stuff. So I go over to the socks and undergarment section where I think it should be. And it was not there. So I asked the lady up front and she goes, you know what? I don't think we do. And if we did, it'd be right here. And I'm like, I've been over there for 15 minutes. You don't have them. So, but they do carry cheesecloth and it works too.
But you're right. The comment you made, when you become a painter, every store you walk into now, you look at things in a different way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that right. I can use that for a stencil. Ooh, I can use that for this. Or, you just think about that stuff.
So I would assume you're like me. There are some stores now that I can't pass. I have to go in them. Is there a store that you can't pass anymore that maybe you didn't used to go into?
It'd probably be either Ollie's or Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Ollie's is a good one. I think Ollie's is slept on.
Or another one, which is funny because I used to make fun of her all the time because when we'd be out and she'd drag me in there and I'd get mad about it, which now I spend more time in there than she does. Hobby Lobby.
Yes. It's funny. The roles have switched because it used to be she's like, ooh, let's go to Hobby Lobby. I'm like, oh my God, not again.
Right.
Now we'll be in town and I'm like, hey, do you want to stop at Hobby Lobby? She'll be like, no, but I'll sit in the car and play on the phone while you go in.
Yep.
So it's
You're
kind of
exactly
funny.
right.
It is funny. It's the same way with fly tying. Yeah. Yes,
Victoria's
sir. Yes, sir.
Secret Bear.
What's that?
Read Bear's comment.
Victoria's Secret. I've never been able to just go by that store. What are you talking about?
I mean, they would have some good stencils in there.
It's like a big kid Chuck E. Cheese in there. So we're about 38 minutes in. I'll give you a little break. Guys, don't forget, get over and check out Pretty Lures, prettylures.com. I'm just going to say it. Go over to prettylures.com. Check out their stuff. You will not be disappointed. After you spend a certain amount, which I believe is at 100 mark, shipping's free. You always get free gifts. They always do a giveaway right here. They're going to do one tonight. And it'll be a $25 gift code where you can go over to Pretty Lures and get whatever you want. If you're not a bait maker, there you go. You can get a custom bait made from Barrett himself, or you can talk with him and you guys can figure out how to go about that. But prettylures.com, go check them out. Also, Dead on Baits. Don't forget about Dead on Baits. Go over there and check it out. You'll find me right on his website. I have a whole profile. Everybody that is pro staff by him over at Dead on Baits has their own profile, tells you a little bit about that person, what they do. And then it has a link to my YouTube channel. You can go over there, The Podcast 2025, and you can watch all the previous episodes. C-Klein, Dead on Baits, is part of those previous episodes. He was the one previous to this one. Great episode. Make sure you guys go check it out. Do you have any, well, let's get into that. Do you do auctions? Do you have a site? How do you go about dispersing your baits?
I don't have a site. So most of the time when I paint a new lure, I'll do a TikTok video and just kind of showing it off or whatever.
Yeah.
I've been in one auction, and for the most part, I don't do this to really sell baits. I do this for it's more therapeutic for me. You look at all these people that spend how many hundreds and thousands of dollars going to a shrink. I don't need a shrink. I got a spray booth and an airbrush.
Hey, turn up the music, listen to the air compressor, and watch that paint go.
Yep.
I'm with you.
So for the most part, now if I post something and somebody really wants it and hits me up, hey man, you interested in selling that? Sure.
Mhm.
But like we've talked before, with other bait makers, I would rather just trade. Let's hey man, I like that one. Is there something I already have painted up you like, or do you want me to paint you up something, and let's just swap it out.
Yep. Got a puzzle piece here. Give me just a second. There we go. I can't believe they still give me a puzzle piece. I mean, we're fully interactive here.
Well, maybe for you, Lauren, not for me.
What's that? A shrink might be cheaper. For Lauren, it might be. So let's do a tough question.
All right.
Tough, maybe not tough.
Go
What
for
clear
it.
coat do you use?
Man, I don't know if I should tell my secrets on here. But hold on. Hold on here. So,
Yeah. BSI.
I'm Team BSI now.
Okay. And you started with what clear coat?
I started when the bait I showed you earlier, my first one.
Mhm.
So probably the first 6 baits I did, I used KBS Diamond.
Okay.
And not that it's terrible, but it takes, a good 4, 5, 6 days to cure and really set in.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't want to wait that long, So, and there again, Simmons and Brasher was using UV. And I
Yep.
know Tark and Fingerprint and a lot of them guys were using UV too.
Correct.
But, I knew I could, hit Sims up or hit Brasher up, getting into UV, any tips or any help or any, advice you can give me.
Yeah.
So I ended up, Sims told me the UV that he uses. That's what I got. That's what I used the whole time. And I'm not saying that I will quit using UV. I think for some of like bigger glide baits and stuff, I'll probably use UV just because there's more work time.
Yes.
But for the few baits that I've done with BSI, I really like it. The results have been really good. And I think the ones that I've done with the BSI have been some of the cleanest baits that I've done so far.
Good.
So I really like the BSI, and I'm not saying that anything else is bad or whatnot.
Correct.
Like Critter said, it's kind of a Ford versus Chevy type deal. But what I'm going to say is find what works for you. Find what makes sense to you. If UV makes sense to you and that's what you're comfortable using, stick with it. Just because BSI works for me and Uncle Corey and this guy or whatever, it may not work for you. You may not like it.
100%.
Now, I'm not saying don't try it. Give it a try. See what you think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well said. I know that's a never-ending kind of battle, and we all give each other a hard time. Team BSI, Team UV, back and forth. And I ask every guest that question, and it's about 50-50 still, right?
Mhm.
Not everybody is into the BSI. So one of the downfalls of BSI, well known, is it sets up quick, right? It's a good but bad thing. It's great because once you hang that bait over here behind you, give it 2 hours, you can touch it. It's ready, basically ready. I wouldn't mess with it too much. Let it dry for the full, 8 hours to 24 hours. But with UV or with BSI still, you have to be quick when you're putting that stuff on. You don't have a lot of
Yes, you
work time,
do.
right?
What
It
that
sets
Thrasher
up quick.
says, BSI waits for no man, woman, or child.
Nope. So, like you were saying, with the bigger baits, you may still use the UV because UV has work time, right? You got plenty of work time. You can sit there and make sure you're fully coated, and then give it a
Yep.
little flash,
Yep.
or however you guys do it. I personally have never used UV. I had an interest in UV, and like you with the soft plastics, I actually bought all the stuff to do UV. And after talking to a few people and hearing some of the downfalls of it, I was already using BSI, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to open a new can of worms. I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
I
man.
still,
Stick with what works for you. You
Yeah.
know?
yeah,
And my thing with UV and kind of why I switched to the BSI is, you know, I'd gotten a few lures that had been BSI'd
Yep.
and just kind of inspected and looked at the clear coat and just seen the shine
yeah,
and that's kind of what sold me to try it. I was like, and that's just the way my mind works. I think with having the racing background and everything, you know, the gears start turning, and
Yep.
then I have to know how this works. I
Yes.
can't just go leave it alone. So that's why I ordered some, and I've had the BSI for probably a month and a half, and then finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it, and I did, and I was like, whoa, I like this stuff.
It lays out pretty smooth, and you get used to the amount of time you have. Like when we say it sets up quick, I typically can only do, and that's because I take a little more time with it. Typically two baits. Let's just say they're 2.5s. Two 2.5s, and I've learned to mix just enough to do those because it starts to get real tacky and starts to string out. Well, heat will help, but only for a certain amount of time. The other thing I found that helps is putting it on a flat surface. I choose aluminum foil. And the great thing about using the aluminum foil is I can actually pick that up and I can heat up the bottom of the aluminum foil, and it keeps that BSI warm for a little while. But after a while, it's just going to get sticky.
That's
Yeah.
BSI right there. I pulled it out of my tray,
Yep.
and I mean, it's not sticky. It's
Yeah.
you know, and you can just tell it's got some give to it, but on the lure, it's not going to scratch. It's not going to, you know, the lure's going to be fine with it.
Yes. And like anything else, eventually, yes, you're going to be able to smack it on a rock and crack it. It's not indestructible.
Nothing is.
But it lasts really well. I have lures that I've done that I actually throw, and I'm up here on Lake Erie, and it is nothing but rocks. I was in a live the other night talking about it. We grind the rocks, and we grind them hard. I wear out everything on the rocks. And BSI tends to hold up pretty well. So we'll just say that. So you've been painting for about a year. Not about
Exactly a year
exactly a year. Do you ever get like a painter's block where you've come home, you've thought about painting, and you're just like, I don't know what to do? And if so, what's something that you do to get past that?
See, and I was ready for this question. That was one of the notes that I had was this question.
Nice.
So for me, I don't really think it's a painter's block because with me only painting for a year, there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't done.
Sure.
For me, I'm going to say it's more of a confidence block. It's, you know, I'm questioning my ability. And can you do this bluegill pattern? I don't know. You know, and then I'll just go to paint something in my comfort zone instead. So it's more of a
Yes.
confidence block than a painter's block for me.
That's well said. That's a good way to put it. And there are plenty of new painters out there that I would say can very much relate to that. Um, there can be a confidence thing when it comes to trying new things, trying different colors, stacking colors, even just coming out of that comfort zone at all. And what I think really helps with it, and we all paint together a lot. So if you're a new painter and you would like to get in and paint with us, give people in the chat a follow, give Spider Monkey a follow, give me a
give me a
follow,
follow.
and appreciate it. And you will see that we tend to help each other out and do different things. Also, get out of your comfort zone. You want to get out of your comfort zone? Go visit a Friday Night Live. Send Pretty Lures a message. Get in on a Friday Night Live. It will take you. You don't have a choice but to get out of your comfort zone. Look, I still stay in my comfort zone. When I get in on a Friday Night Live, it pulls me completely out of that comfort zone. And I come up, there's a bait that I painted that now I'm like, ooh, I'm going to paint that bait more often because I enjoyed it. I liked how it looked. So,
And I'm going to say everybody that's been on the Friday Night Live since they brought it back has painted some amazing baits. I mean, everybody.
yeah.
You know, whether it's the OGs, the new guys coming in, all you guys have been crushing it.
Yep. Quick shout out. I want to give a shout out to Outdoors with Tiny. Outdoors with Tiny does Real Talk with Tiny. I was just in there in his podcast that he runs. I actually won the giveaway in his podcast,
Nice.
which I don't know why. You have lucky people and then you have me. I hardly ever get the giveaways. Go check out Outdoors with Tiny. It's called Real Talk with Tiny. Over here, we do the bait maker side. We're all fishermen, no matter what, right? We all fish. We talk a little bit of fishing and mostly bait making. Over Real Talk with Tiny, they do mostly fish talk and then a little bit on the bait making. And sometimes the person he has on there doesn't make baits at all. The only thing they do is fish. So make sure and get over there and check him out as well. And
I've been following Tiny for a while on here. He was one of the first guys on Fish Talk that I started following.
I'll tell you, I knew of Outdoors with Tiny, right? And I started the podcast. And I started the podcast back the 11th month of 25, you know. And it wasn't too long after that, I got a message on my TikTok, and it was actually him. And he said, "Hey, buddy, this is my phone number. Give me a call. I just want to talk to you about the podcast you're doing." And I was like, "Oh, cool." You know, when this thing first started, I didn't get a lot of yeses. I didn't get a lot of people who wanted to be on here. You're new. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why you're messaging them. But I ended up talking to him, and it was the fact that he was going to start up Real Talk with Tiny, and he just wanted to touch base with me and tell me, "Hey, you know, I'm going to start my own, and I'm going to make sure I do it on a different day than you do so that we both get the audiences we wanted." And now me and him talk all the time, just random messages out of nowhere.
Just a great guy, man. Tiny is an awesome dude. I mean, if you want to learn some fishing tips, go over and follow him. Cooking tips, he's always throwing down on the grill. His dog is probably a bigger celebrity than all of us.
I'm telling you, that basset hound with them big old ears. I was showing my wife one of his videos, and that's the first thing she said. "Oh, look at the dog."
Yeah, great content. Tiny's a great dude.
Yep. I've had people messaging and asking how he is. That's great.
That's why I was talking to somebody. Was it at the expo last year in Columbus? And for some reason I was drawing blank on Tiny's name, and I was talking to somebody. It's like, yeah, you got to follow him on TikTok, and I was like, the guy with the dog. I'm like, oh, Tiny. I'm like, yeah, that's him.
I actually got to meet him at Columbus this year. Unfortunately, some bad weather was supposed to move in. I think is why he was leaving. That or he promised his wife he was going to be home at a certain time. But basically, as I was showing up, he was leaving. And so we didn't get to talk too much, but that'll change. I'm sure I'm going to see him again. And we'll take a little more time to sit down and actually talk. But there's a lot going on when you go down to the Columbus Expo. It's a national expo, and man, it is overwhelming how much is going on there.
Yes.
So if you haven't got down to check that out, go. Yeah. And Get Ugly Fishing is part of the Columbus Expo. He does a lot of their advertising and a lot of the talk. I can't think of what I want to say right now, but everybody knows
he does a lot of the
Baits.
PR.
What's that?
He does a lot of the PR for the expo.
Thank you. Yes, he does. And if you don't know who that is, go check out Highway Baits, Get Ugly Fishing, Matt Kozier, all one in the same. Great guy, fun to talk to, and super knowledgeable. So make sure and check him out as well. All right. Let us know.
All right.
Who's your favorite painter?
I knew that was coming, and I've thought how I was going to answer this question. I don't know if I particularly would say that I have a favorite painter.
Okay.
I would say more of just guys that inspire me. You know,
There you
they inspire me to take my ability to the next level.
Yep.
And that's, you know, a lot of guys. I mean, Tart, Fingerprint, Seven, Simmons, Brasher, you, Swamp, JM, Holly, Strouds. I mean, it's all you guys. And like I was telling somebody the other night, where'd it go?
Inspire. That was a good way to put it. I like that.
I mean, this lure right here stays by my spray booth as inspiration. It's a mud bug that Tark painted.
There
This is
you
one of
go.
my favorite lures that Tark ever painted that I have.
Mhm.
And like I said, I keep it right by my spray booth, and that's inspiration.
He does some amazing work.
But I respect all these guys on here and have nothing but admiration for all of them.
That's a great way to put it. And they inspired you. And I always say, you know,
You too, Ephraim. I'm sorry I forgot to mention you.
who's your favorite?
Maybe. I mean, I could sit here and rap Tiny. I could rattle off 50 people right now.
You could. And I think throughout the podcast, just about everybody that we associate with has been mentioned. So don't ever think if you're a painter that hangs out with Spider Monkey or myself and you didn't hear your name that time that we don't think you're a great painter or you haven't inspired us in some way. You say Ephraim. Ephraim also has switched. He was UV. Now he has started with some BSI and he really likes it. And let me tell you, you could tell a difference in his baits. They seem to look glossier. And it seems, I'm not saying BSI is better than UV. It seems like he is a better fit.
It works
BSI.
for him. BSI works better for him.
And he would have never, every time we mention it, he's like, UV, UV, UV. He tried BSI and it works with him a lot better. Not to say that he doesn't do UV baits, but he has now done some BSI and I think he's enjoying it. I think he likes it. We all figure out you don't get near the work time that you would like to have, but That's part of it. That's part of it.
Jigs, your mom know you got a mouth like that?
Yeah, Jigs just got started into the painting world or side of
Crushing it.
bait making. He's doing a great job, and he's
Crushing it.
UV. So I think he talks to. We'll just say, so we're not just throwing names around. He talks to a certain group a lot of times about painting, and I think that's how he fell into the I want to do UV right away. And I've heard him talking about BSI, and I think a lot of people are going to start using both. Just kind of depends on what they want to do. And
Yep.
some of them have always used both. They just didn't say it. So,
Yep.
what's a color scheme that you would like to see more of, or a color scheme that you would like to see less of? There's too much of it being done.
The one that I like to see more of. Pumpkin seed. I love that pattern. I think
Yeah.
pumpkin seed is a great pattern.
It is
And
a
I'd
great
like to
pattern.
see. I'm intimidated very much so to even attempt to paint pumpkin seed. But when it's done and done right,
Yes.
that pattern is fantastic.
And there are a few painters out there that nail that
Yes.
one right there.
Yes.
Yeah. I would agree. We don't see a lot of pumpkin seed. We see a lot of bluegill. We see a lot of crappie. We see a lot of craws. We see a lot of different paint jobs. But pumpkin seed, we don't see a whole lot of.
Nope.
So there's some inspiration for everybody that is a painter down in the chat. Let's see some pumpkin seed. How about it?
'Cause, I
Show
mean,
us
you
that
know my.
pumpkin.
Besides that, you know my motto: when in doubt, crawl it out.
Yeah. I have still not painted a crawl pattern yet.
Strauss did me one last night, and that's why I said pumpkin seed, because I was thinking about that, and I was like, pumpkin seed.
Well,
You
maybe
don't
we'll
see
get
a
to
lot
see
of
it.
it.
Maybe we'll get to see one from you.
Maybe.
Yeah. Swamp Rooster says, absolutely. What bait or color scheme do you fish the most?
So my confidence bait, like I've said before, you know, when if I'm out and nothing's working, I can't get a strike on anything, I'm gonna throw a black and blue chatterbait
Yes.
with some type of crawl, punch bug, some trailer, black or black and blue, or maybe even a green pumpkin.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be my go-to.
I'm telling you, I am an absolute chatterbait fisherman. I picked it up a few years ago. It is now my confidence bait. I always put some sort of a structure, we'll say creature bait trailer on it, and it does really well. I will switch to that thing every time I am not catching fish, and I will fish the crap out of it. So.
Yep.
Good pick. So when you fish, do you mainly fish boat or bank?
Bank. I can count on one hand how many times I've fished out of a boat.
Okay. It's
Just because, you know, there's not a lot of places to drop a boat around here unless you go to Geist. Is about either Geist or Moore's Reservoir is about the only two places close to where I live where you could drop a boat.
yeah.
So I've just mainly been a bank fisherman. And not, you know, eventually down the road, I would like to own a boat and start doing more fishing out of a boat. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's most fishermen's ultimate goal is to have a boat, but I'm not there yet. I will get there one day.
You know, we talk a lot about confidence baits, but here's something we don't talk a lot about. You're a bank fisherman, right? You fish from a boat once in a while. I was a bank fisherman, strictly. Never really fished from a boat. And you want to talk about a big difference. There is a big difference
Yep.
when it goes from I feel like I can go out on the bank anytime and catch a fish. There are times I get on my boat and I've gotten skunked before. And I'm like, what the heck? And I will go back to that same reservoir an hour later because you can fish it from the bank and I'll catch a fish. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? You
And
know?
that could possibly be, you know, when you're in a boat, you have a lot more options of where to cast than you do on the bank. You know, the
Yep.
bank, in this one spot, you only have so big of a radius you can cast. Where in a boat, you can flip out over here, over off this side, off the back, off the front.
Yeah.
There's so many more options fishing from a boat than there is the bank.
Yeah. Yeah. But bank is definitely my confident spot. And you can bet
The bull.
in this tournament that's coming up starting May 18th, Bubba's Custom Lures has put together a tournament for all of us. I'm going to be doing just as much bank fishing as I am boat fishing. So I know a lot of guys were saying, well, I don't even fish from a boat. I'm at a disadvantage. I don't think you are. I really don't think you are.
Seeing what he was getting, or what Uncle Corey was getting to say when he said you can bet on team one to win.
Yep, no, that isn't what I was going to say. Team 5. Team 5.
You're saying one wrong.
Oh man. So I will
It's
leave it
going to
up
be fun.
to
And that's the thing about it. The tournament, you know, I not to get off topic or whatever, but
No, you're fine.
as long as we have fun and have a good time when we're out fishing, that's all that matters. That
It
is all.
is.
At the end of the day, that is all that matters.
It's the camaraderie. It's the trash talk like we're doing right now, like we're seeing in the chat right now. Outdoors with Tiny's part of it. Darkside Lures, Swamp Rooster is part of it. Bubba's Custom Lures, TRS, Spider Monkey, Sims. Almost everybody that we've mentioned tonight is part of this thing. There are a few who are not, but my goodness, there's almost 40 people in this thing. So
Yep.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
There you go, Brasher. Show up for the team. Brasher's on my team. TRS is on my team. Mad Mexican's on my team. Uncle Tom's Custom Lures is on my team. Bass Smuggler's on my team. So I think we've got a good shot. I know
Hey,
everybody
we got
else
some
does
hammers
too.
on our team, man.
Huh?
We got some hammers on our team. Strouds, Bass Cat, Bill Housley, Hoghead.
I know. Strouds and Bass Cat are great fishermen, and it's proven. But there's a lot of great fishermen in this tournament, and it's pretty much open. There's a few rules, and they're basic rules. You know, don't cheat, don't fish in
Yeah.
private ponds, and there's just a few basic rules. Other than that, go catch fish, bass, only bass. No big stripers though. Bubba lives up there in striper country where, you know, they can catch them, I don't know, probably 20 pounds, 30 pounds.
Huge.
Yeah, so those are not allowed.
Exactly.
Although TRS is on my team. Oh my goodness. We're going to save some questions for the chat, and I know they're excited to ask some questions. So,
Hold on. Are you getting ready to ask about the story?
I have one more question for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in a live with Spider Monkey a while back, and we were talking about, I couldn't even tell you what, but bait casters came up, of course, and he had a story that he wanted to save just for you guys. So why don't you tell us about your first bait caster?
So what brought it up? We were all on that live, and I want to say was it Strouds? I think was talking about Lake Cumberland, I believe.
I believe so.
So we were talking about like Lake Cumberland, Kentucky Lake, and Dale Hollow, and all that.
Yep.
So me and some of my buddies, we used to go on a trip down to Dale Hollow. So my one buddy had a nice ski boat, and we would take it down there, and then we would rent a houseboat, pull it back in the cove, and just kind of party. And and I always take my fishing gear and fish while I was down there. So I decided I was going to go out and buy a brand new. I'm a big KVD guy. To me,
Okay.
Kevin Van Dam's the GOAT.
I wouldn't disagree.
So when he was with Quantum, I went out and bought a KVD Quantum bait caster, the big pimp daddy KVD model. And I want to say it was a Shimano rod that was, high-end rod. So we get down to Dale Hollow, and my buddy's like, hey, you want me to take you out on the ski boat and you can fish off the back? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Had this brand new setup, had a buzz bait on there, and I'm flipping it underneath some overhangs, burning the buzz bait back, third cast, flip it underneath there, burn it back, bam! Hammered it.
Yeah.
And this thing jumps up out of the water, and I can see it. My eyes get all big, and I never had a bait caster, so I don't think I either had the tension or the drag set right, and I could hear it singing. I'm trying to set the hook in this big mamma jamma. He flips this way, flips that way, the buzz bait goes that way, and he's gone.
Ah.
And I could see him. He was every bit of a 6-pounder.
Yeah.
So that brand new KVD bait caster and rod, everything, it's back in that cove in Dale Hollow at the bottom.
You were pissed.
Oh yeah, I chucked that thing right off.
Do you use bait casters nowadays?
Yes.
Yeah. There's some people who don't, and it wasn't till I think 4 years ago now that I started using a bait caster. I was strictly a spinning reel, and I done really well with them. I could skip them under docks. I done really well with them. But there are advantages to having a bait caster. That's for sure. There's advantages to it.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And once you get them, bait casters are intimidating. You can get an inexpensive one, and as long as you have the tension set right, for whatever ounce weight you have or bait you have on there,
Correct.
get it to where when it hits, it's not rolling back.
Yes.
Man, you can pretty much throw it all day long. Maybe have to barely thumb it a little bit, and you're good.
Yep. Sometimes the wind gets you. I think that's the toughest thing with a bait caster when you're throwing into the wind.
Yep.
Which we do, right? I want to throw it into the wind and let the bait hit the water and bring it back with the wind.
Yep.
And it's amazing. Sometimes, you're casting the other way and you're bringing your bait into the wind, and you won't even get a bite. You turn around and fish it the other way, and boom, you're on them. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. So,
but that's like I don't remember whose live we was in the other night. Somebody got talking about forward-facing sonar, and I said, it's no different than people hating on DC reels.
Yeah.
Technology is a great thing. Whether you love it or you hate it, it's constantly advancing and moving forward.
Yep.
So, you got a lot of guys that don't like forward-facing sonar, but you know what? It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay.
Nope.
And they're only going to improve on it and make it better. Just like DC reels. They're not going anywhere. They're going to make the next generation that's going to be even better than the ones they have now.
I'm for it. As far as, they're putting these smart
Way to go,
brakes.
Fingerprint.
What's that?
Fingerprint said he caught over 30 bass Sunday.
Nice. They're putting these smart braking systems in these reels these days, and I'm for it. You know what I mean? What are we doing all the time? We're trying to keep that thing from backlashing.
Yep.
What does it matter if it does it for itself?
Yep.
I've heard arguments on the forward-facing sonar, and I'm not looking to start any arguments at all in the chat. But if you can afford it, get it, use it,
Yeah.
do it.
Why not? It's no different than if you're a mechanic and they say you can use every tool but a 10 millimeter. Huh?
Right?
What? Forward-facing sonar is just another tool that you can use. If you can afford it, it's a tool that you can use. Why not use it?
That's right. That's right. And you've heard people say it. They're like, "Well, it's ruining fishing," and it's like, well, just because you can find the fish doesn't mean you can catch them.
Right.
Does it help you find the fish? 100%. That's exactly what it's for. Does it make it easier for you to catch the fish? No, you still have to be throwing the right baits. You still have to be a fisherman. You still have to present the lure to them.
Yeah.
It does help you find them. But what have we been doing this whole time with all these, depth finders and stuff? You're always trying to tune it in perfectly so you can see the fish.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It's just better than what your dad had.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's just technology, and technology is constantly moving forward and evolving. So, like you said, that hummingbird that your dad had back in 1984,
Yep.
that was just a dial and had a beep on it. Well, now we have forward-facing sonar that has pretty much a visual picture like you're watching a movie.
Yep. There's a lot of comments going on down there. I agree, guys. Keeps you from fishing empty spots.
Sure.
That's what we used to do. We always had a search lure, right? What are you doing with that search lure? What are you doing with that depth finder? You're just trying to find a fish. You're going to cast till you're blue in the face and looking down at everything you have available to you to help you out. I mean,
Exactly.
We're out there to catch fish.
Okay. So
You ain't scoping, you hoping.
before we open up the questions, would y'all like to know how I got the name Spider Monkey?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll answer it for him. We have to know how you got the
All right.
name Spider-Man.
So, going back to Dale Hollow and Lake Cumberland. So the guy I used to work for, he had a houseboat on Lake Cumberland and a 42-foot fountain speedboat. And I had a Sea-Doo at the time that I'd pull my Sea-Doo down there, and we'd go down there for a week and just party and hang out and all that stuff. So, and the rule was, I was back in my 20s now. The rule was when you wake up in the morning, you get 1 cup of coffee, and if you don't drink coffee, well, then it's beer. And that's how it started. That's how your day started. So we get up one morning, and back then I wasn't a coffee drinker. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm cracking Coors Lights. So, and I happened to bring a bottle of Crown Special Reserve with me.
Okay.
So my buddy comes out and he looks over and he starts cussing and raising hell and everything. Like, what's wrong, dude? I just cleaned all these cobwebs off my damn boat and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, so what's your problem? He's like, well, they're back on there. And so I look behind me and there's a cobweb back there and there's a spider about that big around. I said, pour me a shot of that Crown Special Reserve. They're like, what? I said, pour me a shot of that Crown Special Reserve. So they poured me a shot. I reached back, grabbed this spider, chucked it in, hit the crown, done deal.
Oh my God.
And Spider Monkey was born.
So you ate a spider. That's how it came about.
And that name came way before Talladega Nights.
That's a great story. You had a fishing story for us. Now you got the story of how you got your name. I'm gonna steal a little bit of something from Outdoors with Tiny. I was watching his podcast the other night, and he does that. No time to retie, right? And he asks multiple questions quickly, and you're just supposed to snap out the answers. And he usually throws an off the wall one in there, and it was Morales Fishing on there. on his last podcast, and his last question to him was, "Who tells more lies, fishermen or car salesmen?" And I mean, Morales had he had the perfect answer. He goes, "Well, I'm kind of 50-50 with that because there's a whole lot of fish stories." you know.
Okay, so here's my answer on that one is fishermen are honest lies. Car salesmen are slimeball lies.
That's what I put in the chat. I put it kind of in that aspect. I was like, fishing is fish stories, right? It's not my reliable car that I'm trying to drive around that they lied to me and said was the greatest car in the world. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a great question, and his answer was even better. He's like, "I'm not sure. I'm kind of 50-50. So what do you say? We got 39 people in here, and I think we're going to do some giveaways. And we're going to start with Pretty Lures giveaway. What I want to start with is, if you have not interacted somehow with this live, you can't be part of the giveaway. Up here in the upper right hand corner is a number that I choose a random number out of there. And if you haven't at least commented or liked the live, you have no numbers by your name, so you can't be part of the giveaway. So I'd appreciate it if you went ahead and liked the live, commented, just anything you want to do there. That'll get you in as part of the giveaway. We'll give you just a few seconds to do that. And then let me see. Is Pretty Lure in here? Pretty Lure, if you're in here.
Holly, to answer your question, no, I didn't start drinking coffee till I was in my 40s.
They may not be in here. Yeah, they are. What am I thinking? Pretty Lure's in here. They're in here. You guys are already saying rigged. I haven't even done anything yet. So I usually do the wheel of suspense. However, tonight I think I'm just going to do randoms, and we are going to start with, this is kind of spur of the moment, but we'll start this time because I want to talk to Pretty Lure before we get started here. Randomly rigged. It always says rigged in here. If you're new in here, trust me, this is not rigged. It's an ongoing joke. Everybody in the chat is going to start putting rigged, whether it doesn't matter who wins. They're going to say it. Banana. I tell you what, we're going to start with Spider Monkey tonight. We're going to start with your giveaway.
All right.
Go ahead and explain the giveaway, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so let's do it. So
All right.
when I was thinking about doing this, I was like, well, I just don't want to give some random lures. I want to give a kind of a package where somebody can go out and fish the different water tables. So I don't want to give you just this, that, or whatever. So I'm trying to give something that'll hit all of them. So we're gonna start off with the mud bug, top water. Got some chrome silver, copper with some green and some color shift in it. Then got us a 2.5 square bill and a skull crawl. Then got a lipless. Got the funky chicken deep diver.
My goodness.
And then we got the bone with black splatter ripstop.
I like that.
And then I'm going to say right now, this is going to be a catcher. So we got 5 lures, and I got a code for $20 certificate for Pretty Lures.
Oh, that's all going in one.
All one package.
Plus the gift code. So what I've done is, you guys can see I'm watching him. I'm interacting with the chat. I have a number written down over here. That's the number we're going to go with. Usually I do the Wheel of Suspense. I kind of wanted to get some bigger, higher numbers in there. So we are just randomly going with a number. And I'm going to show you the number right now. And it is number 31 is who's going to get the giveaway for him. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to start scrolling down right now to number 31. 31 is none other than Tim, the Candyman.
Tim,
the Candyman.
DM me your info and I'll get them sent out to you, and I will get you that Pretty Lures code. Now on the code, they want me to tell you it's one-time use. So if you're in there and got a cart and you put the code in and then you close the page down, you will lose the code. So don't you have to use the code and everything when you're doing it.
When you're there, you cannot. Okay. Texas rigged. Oh my goodness. We see the rigged in there. What a heck of a giveaway, man. I really appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. I know Tim appreciates it. Congratulations, Tim. You do win the giveaway from Spider Monkey. That's quite a few baits plus a gift code to Pretty Lure as well. So appreciate it, man. Thank you. So the next one we're going to do is
my baits and be like, man, these things suck.
No, he's not. Your baits are good. Every bait maker thinks that their stuff isn't as good. So
we're our own worst critics.
Yes. And you know what? That's what drives us to be better and better and better. We see that pattern that somebody's doing. Let's say it's Holly or TRS or Swamp Rooster or Mr. John Ward or somebody like that. We see a pattern that they've done, and it excites you, and that also drives you to try and figure it out. So
right.
Definitely never quit pushing yourself. So we're going to do the Pretty Lure giveaway. I have another number down here, and I do have it written down every time I try and get it close. So it's number 7. Number 7. We're going to get over here. We're going to go straight down. We're going to look at number 7, which is John. John, you are the winner of the Pretty Lures giveaway.
Congrats, John.
I'm not sure. Yes, I know John. I 100% know John. Now it just clicked with me. Congratulations, John. You are the winner of the Pretty Lures giveaway. That's $25 gift code to Pretty Lures. Yes, Kaufman, that's it. The gift code will be given to you by Pretty Lures. I know you guys follow each other. You'll get that part worked out. So that's the way we did the giveaways tonight. I will get back to the Wheel of Suspense. I just wanted to change it up a little bit, see kind of how things went. It's hard for me to, what I'm just realizing is show the numbers because everything just keeps disappearing. But we made it through it. Congratulations to both the winners tonight. We're going to move on. I think this is some of the chat's favorite part of the show.
Let's get it.
John, you are so lucky. Doe Run Customs. We are going to open up the chat. We are going to let you guys ask him the questions you want the answers to. I typically leave out a few questions, so make sure you guys ask him those questions. If I don't see some of those questions asked, I'll try and remember, and we'll get them answered for you. But go ahead and give him a couple questions. I know you guys have some. It can be about anything he was talking about, from his racing to his podcast to his bait making to his outrageous fishing trips from his 20s. Part two. If you could race with and paint with anyone, who would it be and why?
I would probably have to say that's a good question.
That is a good question.
The painting part of it's like racing and painting. So, I'm gonna go with Tark just because he's a racing fan. So I feel like it would go kind of hand in hand.
Okay. So, as a two-part question, yeah, got it.
If you could race with and paint with them, yeah. So if I could, are you saying could I race with anyone and then paint with two different? Okay, I got you.
Correct.
If I could race with anyone, and that's what alive or unalive,
I would say
Ayrton
all the
Senna.
above.
Ayrton Senna would be who I'd want to race with.
Okay.
He was beyond his time. Paint with anyone? I don't know if I could pick just one person. I would like to paint with our whole group as one.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. I hear it so often, and I feel like in the future it's coming.
But if I had to pick one person, I'm going to say Swamp. Just because I feel like Swamp and I could sit down and we would just go right into like we've known each other all our lives.
Oh, 100%. I could see that.
Favorite jig tire? Bobby Burnout. Come on.
Burn on Bobby.
What's my favorite bait? My favorite bait would be
Who's asking you?
Gabe.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a hula popper, and the only reason I'm gonna say a hula popper is that was a lure. My grandmother, when she was alive, she didn't throw a lot of artificials. Her go-tos were bee moss or night crawlers, but if she threw a lure, it was a hula popper, and that was my first taste of ever throwing a lure. I threw a hula popper, so that's kind of why I would say a hula popper.
Okay. Next question is from Sims. How'd that?
He's talking about Packers and Micah Parsons football.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey, Sims, it went better than your Cowgirls did, so shush it. You can shut it.
Brasher wants to know, why did it take so long to switch to BSI?
Just because I was used to the UV. That's what I've been using.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if, I didn't know the BSI would work out as well as what it did. I wish I would have switched before I did. You're right. It shouldn't have took me that long.
Things happen for a reason, Pooh, fishing for you. What's your favorite fishing trip?
What would be my favorite fishing trip I want to take? Okeechobee. Either Okeechobee or I want to go down to South America and fish for peacock in South America.
I would love to fish for some peacock bass. I'm with you on that one.
How'd the spider taste? I don't remember.
Pretty Lures wants to know, how'd the spider taste? Yeah.
I really don't remember because I didn't like chew it up. I just threw it down and then washed it down.
Stroud's favorite brand of rod and reel.
Rod is easy. Arc rods. That's ARK. That's what I like to use. I have, I think, 5 of them.
I've seen them.
And,
I've seen them.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Reel. I'm gonna have to go with Shimano. It's close because I do like the 13 fishing reels I have, but I would pick Shimano. So Shimano reels and arc rods.
Jigs on Wheels wants to know, if you could fish with anyone, who would it be?
KVD.
KVD. I'm with you on that. And what's funny is he fishes Erie just like I do.
Yeah, it's simple. KVD.
He fishes the other side. He's Michigan side of Erie, but same. North Waters asked you the 2-part question, and he says, I feel I knew the answer, and I like it. Outdoors with Tiny. When you coming down for dinner and fishing?
We need to make that happen, Tiny, for sure. I would love to come down and hang out with you, man, and eat some of that good grub you're always showing and meet the dog and go fishing. And there again, he's another guy. I feel like if Tiny and I got together, we would just go into like we've known each other. We go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yep. I agree. Benster, what's up? What Legacy Lures wants to know, what is a good starter blank to paint for a new guy?
I would say Spook.
Good choice.
I would say that'd probably be the best one to start out with, just because it's a little bit bigger. You have a little more area to work with.
Yep. Pretty simple to clear coat for your clear coats. They're a pretty straightforward lure. There's not a lot to them. Another, if I had to put any input, would be just a basic like 2.5 or flat side crankbait, something like that. The flat sides work really well for some of your first stenciling, laying some pattern on it. So, the chat keeps skipping on me. When it skips on me, it jumps me all the way to the bottom and I miss other questions. So if you see a question you'd like to answer, just shout out their name and go ahead with the question.
Where to go? Tui says, favorite pattern to paint on a bait for your area? Crawl pattern. Like a blue crawl, some type of crawl, or even a bluegill. Crawl or bluegill would work really good in my area.
Yeah, John, I'll have to let you get with Barrett.
See, Simmons, what paint do you use?
There you go.
I have several different, Createx, Vallejo, New World, a set I got off the Zon. But if I had to pick one paint that I would like to have all the colors in and just use that paint solely, Vallejo.
It's a good paint.
Bubba, do you play Santa during the holidays? No, I haven't, but I would. I totally would.
You totally should. What do you mean? You got the whole beard going on. That ain't a bad drive for me. Outdoors with Tiny, says Paul Tark. That ain't a bad drive for me. So one question I had, and I think we missed, but what's your favorite species to fish for?
Bass.
And what's your PB?
8-pounder.
Really? Where? In Indiana?
No. So I was telling this story the other night. So I have family that lives down in Sparta, Tennessee. And this was years and years ago. I was a teen when I caught this fish. But so where their house was at, their closest neighbor was 5 miles down the road. Well, then he had some land and we had to walk a country mile down this path to get back to this pond. And the pond, it was a decent sized pond, but so the property line ran down in the middle of the pond, and these two people that owned it wasn't going to let him have this half, wasn't let him going to have. So they ran wire fence straight down the middle. You could only cast so far. You were getting hung up in this wire fence. So I was throwing a Rapala jerkbait. I remember the bait. I remember the color. It was the black on top with like the gold. It's actually, where'd it go? It actually looked something kind of like that. But casted it out, working the lure back, hit it, and I knew it was something big. And I'm reeling it and getting it in, and my dad's freaking out. Now, do we know for 100% fact it was an 8-pounder? No, because I didn't have a scale. So I will say that.
Okay.
But I know just by holding it, it was at least 8 pounds.
That's awesome. Big shout out to my moderators. What you guys don't know is they are keeping an eye on this chat, and they're keeping us safe and keeping all the BS out of the chat. So thank you so much to the moderators. Appreciate you guys, and I couldn't do it without you. So keep doing what you do.
Really, Bubba? Really?
What do you say now?
Give us your best ho, ho, ho.
No. All right.
Nah.
He tried. You can't blame him for trying. Why don't we go with this one? If you could give a piece of advice, and we'll just keep this question quite straightforward. If you could give a piece of advice to a new painter, what would it be?
It would be, don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone. You're never going to know if you can do it or not unless you try it.
Yeah.
And this is advice I'm giving to myself right now as well, because I get stuck in my comfort zone and I get, intimidated to try it. Don't be afraid to try. If you mess up, hey, there's more white. Just paint white back over it and start over.
There's more lures. There's more paint. You can take as many tries as you want till you get it right. It's simple. Bubba Custom Lure says, did he not say he would be Santa?
I said I would if the money's right. You don't get free samples.
Or put it in my box, Ephraim says. So that's an ongoing thing. Everybody has an Ephraim box. You mess it up, you throw it in the Ephraim box. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not 100% that these boxes. I'm not 100% certain that these boxes even exist, or if he actually receives them. But I hear it all the time when these guys are painting. They're like, well, I guess that one's going in Ephraim's box. So I assume they're real.
Really? Is it for the kids? Really?
It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
Ho, 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 ho.
Yes. That was actually really good. Oh, that was actually really good. There you go, guys. We'll have to have him back for the Christmas episode.
Oh, boy.
I want some paint for Christmas, Santa. Outdoors with Tiny.
I do too.
Right? No, this has been a great interview. And like he said earlier, he used to do his own podcast, so he's very much used to being on camera and doing all the questions and asking the questions. So
I enjoy it. I think this is fun.
I absolutely love doing the podcast. I love tuning in to other people's stuff. And it's not to grab any ideas. I fully appreciate what Tiny does. And I've seen some other ones out there that I've watched a little bit of. And I tend to turn around and rewatch mine, just because a lot of times I'm focused on paying attention to everything all at once and making sure everything's going smooth, that I don't have the luxury of just sitting back and actually watching the conversation or listening to the conversation. So I go back and I watch it a lot of times on my YT page. So you guys can go over to the YT page, the podcast 2025.
Do it.
Do it now. Get to the chopper. You guys can go over there and watch all the previous episodes. Don't forget to go check out Pretty Lure. Get over and check out Pretty Lure as well as Dead on Baits, and check out Tiny's Real Talk with Tiny. If you like and enjoy this, I think you'll like and enjoy that too. He runs his a little bit different. It's more about the fishing side of it all. But he does pretty similar. I enjoy going over there and just kicking back and watching his. So,
Dude, the episode he did with Kenny Dials, I don't know
That
if you
was
watched
great.
that one or not. That was so informative.
yes.
I mean, if you love to fish and you watched that podcast and didn't walk away thinking that was amazing.
You weren't paying attention. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Kenny Dials, he was an open book. He,
Yes.
Tiny actually asked some of those questions, and I think he even commented when he said them, you don't have to answer this if it's too much information, because Kenny Dials is very much a pro fisherman, and he's really good at what he does, and he was an open book. He was answering every question truthfully and honestly. So, yeah. He had a great episode as well. You're getting all the hats and all the gifts.
You're right. I took some notes too.
Somebody's got to find this guy a Santa hat. They've got to have it in the gift somewhere. No, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day, getting in here and letting these guys know who you are. And like he said earlier, he doesn't do a whole lot of auctions and website and stuff like that, but send him a message. He's always making posts. If you see something that he's done that you're truly interested in, just get with him, ask him for it, and ask him a price, and you can get one of his baits as well. So,
Yeah. Or if you're a bait maker, let's swap some stuff out.
yeah. Don't forget, guys, we do this every single, thank you, appreciate it. We do this every single Tuesday at 7 Eastern. And the next guest that is going to be on, as long as he can keep from getting banned, is going to be none other than Twisted Richie.
Oh, that ought to be a good one.
It'll be interesting. It'll be long conversations with Mr. Twisted Richie and see if we can pull off a podcast with him. So, if you know who he is, you know what I'm talking about. Twisted Richie's a great guy, and he's fun to be around. Very eccentric. We'll put it that way. Very eccentric. So we'll see if we can get a podcast done with him. So Twisted Richie will be the next guest. Guys, I've got plenty of guests. I've got guests booked for months. I always give you guys a few of them when I'm in my lives. So if you're not following me and Spider Monkey and Bubba's Custom Lures and Swamp Rooster and Pretty Lures and Sea Climb Fishing and Holly and North Waters and just all these people that we hang out with, you're missing out on a lot. We're on here almost every single day. We're hanging out. We're painting. We're BSing. Sometimes we just start a live because nobody else has a live going and we all just want to hang out. So make sure you're giving all these people a follow. If you're new into the fishing community, don't be afraid to say it. Say, hey, I'm new here. We'll get you so many follows right away. We'll get you into the Fish Talk community, and you can settle in wherever that might be. Gets a little spicy. It sure does get a little spicy, especially when you get dark side lures in there. He has a dark side.
And I just want to say thank you to you, Uncle Corey, for having me on and putting on the podcast. Thank you to Pretty Lures for all you do for the podcast and for all of us bait makers in general. David and Rosalie, you guys are awesome. Take my hat off to both of you. I'll put it back on real quick too. But thank you.
Yeah, they are great. They're great to have around. And I think it's just going to continue to grow for them. It's going to continue to grow for us. You know, that's the thing. They're not just the company that we like to use. They're our friend. You know,
Right.
They are our friend. You will catch them in the lives, just hanging out with us. Nothing to do with sales. They're just hanging out. But if you have a question, you can ask them. They'll answer it right there.
I like it when David has one of us show Rosalie a bait and Rosalie's, oh yeah, like the striker the other night.
Yep. I can't wait for that thing to come out. They should be out really soon. If you pre-ordered a striker from Pretty Lure, they should be coming out very soon. I know I'm excited to get mine, and lots of people pre-ordered. So if you didn't pre-order, you might have to wait a little longer. We'll see. Who wants to pre-order a giant
Me.
peacock bass?
And you're in Brazil.
Do what?
Sapo, am I saying it right? Sapo?
Sapo. Holly may have already in the works. Yeah. I'm not sure what he's talking about yet.
He said we could come to. He's got peacock in Brazil with our name on it.
Oh, that would be. You know what stops me from going to Brazil?
A passport.
Anacondas. I am not a snake person. I'll say it.
They got snakes out there that big.
Yeah.
What's that Ice Cube said in Anaconda? They got snakes out there that big.
I'm telling you now, I'm not a snake person. Get Ugly Fishing.
I'm not either.
He just invited me. Well, we were talking. We were in a live together and we were talking. And I was telling him about some of the fish I was catching. He was telling me about some of the fish he was catching. And I said, man, we just need to get together and I'll show you some of my spots and you can show me some of yours. And I told him, I said, if we're going to go to yours, you bank fish, right? He says, well, I bank fish and I kayak. Well, I don't bank fish Lake Erie because there are so many of these water snakes on Lake Erie and they're aggressive. Like they'll bite you. They don't care. They're not a shy snake. They'll bite the piss out of you.
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
Well, if you want to know how many snakes or how big the population of water snakes is for Lake Erie, go watch Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. And he goes to Put-in Bay, which is right outside my door here.
I think I've seen that episode.
And he goes around with the people that run the research center over there catching all these water snakes so that they can, I don't know what they're doing. They're researching something on them. And he said, I got bit by every single one of them.
That's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, those are nope ropes. Exactly. Yeah, I don't do the snakes. So I told him, I said, look, we'll go to your spots, but we're taking my boat. We'll fish that area, but from the boat, because I'm not walking along those rocks.
Right.
So once again, I appreciate all my sponsors, Pretty Lures, and Dead on Baits is somebody that I've teamed up with as well. You go to his website and you go to look for blanks, and guess where it's going to send you? Right to Pretty Lures. Pretty Lures is a great spot to get everything you might need. What are you digging out there?
Speaking of dead on baits.
Oh, it's the new flutter jig. Dude, what an amazing bait. I got to fish it for 3 casts. Guess what happened?
You lost it.
It's now it got hung up in line or something about 5 feet down, and I could not get it back. I could not get it back. I have others, but that was my only 3/8 in that style. He also sent me an 1/8. Yeah. See, I got one that was green, because around here natural colors work really well. And but I've still got the black and orange one that he made me with the exploding.
Show it again.
What's that?
Barrett said, "Show it again."
Oh yeah, and it works. Hey guys, I can't tell you enough how phenomenal that thing works. I didn't catch one fish on it. Super impressive. Have you fished it yet?
I just got them.
Okay. So the way this thing works is it's part of the name. It's a flutter jig, right? So, when you throw a jig out and it hits the water, it just sinks straight down. We put all the creature trailers and all that on it. I threw that thing by itself. No trailer, no nothing. And it goes down through the water, spiraling away and sometimes fluttering side to side. When you reel it, when you're just reeling it back to yourself slow, it works like a chatterbait. When that thing's coming at you head on, it is shaking.
Does it
Just like
add
this.
that thump?
No thump. It's silent. You can't really feel it much, but it has that sway to it all the way back to the boat. And it's not a little bit of a sway. Chatterbait, it does that side to side action with the bill. And then depending on how you work the bait, you can make it look erratic, right? This one is swimming right back to you. And if you kill it, it just starts spiraling down and then picks back up. The bait works phenomenal. It works exactly how he wanted it to. That's the only place you can get them. Dead on Baits. Get over there and get yours.
I think it would catch a peacock bass. I do. Because from what I've heard, peacock bass are very aggressive. So I think if you threw that in there, and it's definitely something they haven't seen,
Yep.
I think they would attack it.
It slows the fall of that bait, right? What happens? A lot of times you throw a jig and it gets hit on the fall. So that's exactly what that bait's trying to do, is slow that fall rate, and it works. It works. I haven't even caught a fish on it, but I will guarantee you I will. So
I want to try flipping it in some pads.
it'll get through there. It'll get through there. Legacy lures. All right. I think that's going to be the end of the podcast. I appreciate you coming in, Spider Monkey. Thank you so much. Don't forget,
man. I had a blast. Thank you for having me.
Heck yeah. Don't forget to go check him out on YouTube. Go listen to Fire Rider. It's a song that him and his band, or bandmates, I should say. It's not your band, but him and his bandmates put together. If you like a heavy metal type song, you're going to enjoy it. I've listened to it a couple times. I would listen to it again. It's a great song. So I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody who comes in here and hangs out with me. I hope you all have a great night. That's the end of the podcast.
Peace.
See y'all.